Sweet. All right, so this is the first time that I'm using this platform, so bear with me today. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. There is a section on the side where you can post your questions in chat. You can post any questions under the question section. We're not going to be playing around with polls today, so as to not overwhelm. Ooh, I'm like in a tunnel right now. Anyway, okay. So yeah, so I have Stacy with me today, so she'll be manning the chat, answering your questions there, and I can try to address them verbally as well. So let's start with the main topic of our discussion today. So we're going to be talking about the mobile app. So the mobile app is a really, really cool thing. So despite having the marketing suite enabled or not, all Astro users, all Astro retailers have access to the mobile app. This is why we call it the free mobile app. Now, the added benefit of activating the marketing suite will give you the capability to directly communicate with the customers who have your app on their phone. So this is a huge bonus. It allows you to do something that is extremely similar to SMS text messaging without having to pay any sort of carrier fees for that. And we'll get into carrier fees once we start talking about SMS. So let's first start with the actual customization process. And I'll kind of blow through this, but just because I believe most people now are familiar with this. So one thing to keep in mind, if you have more than one store on your account, and let me just do something real quick. So if I have, okay, cool. So if you have more than one store on your account, every single one of your stores has the capability to customize their own app. So what that means is under here, so like right here, like the name of my store is Cat's Test Store, so that is under the display name. So each one of your individual locations can have their own display name. And if you want to go as far as giving each store their own logo, that is a possibility as well. And everybody can have their own color palette. So the way that you would do that under everybody's individual account is if you have a multi-account, every admin has access to their own marketing suite within their Astro account logged in. So on my account, I have Cat's Test, and I also have Huxley's House. So if Huxley's House were to log in and they go to their marketing menu and they go under their My App settings, they would see their specific mobile app. All right, so the basics on here is you can, choose a file from your actual computer and add your logo that way. And then what I normally do just to kind of make the customization a little bit easier is I'll use apps like Canva and I'll load my logo in here. And one of the cool things is you can put together a brand kit and they'll actually pull your specific colors out of your logo and give you the little codes for it. So invaluable. Using Canva more when I'm creating content for you guys to use. So a lot of the templates and everything that I'll share with you, if you want to go into like editing images, will be on Canva itself. And we don't have any affiliation with them officially. I just like it. So that's just it. Anyway, okay. So yeah, so you can plug in, the colors for each individual section. If you wanted to make your own colors, it's just a matter of dragging that pin around to adjust the hue, and then dragging this bar to adjust the shading. And that's it. When you're creating things, you're going to be clicking Save and Preview. If you do make any changes after clicking Save and Preview, you do want to publish. So let's say, for instance, I made a slight adjustment to that color there, and I hit Save and Preview. This isn't actually published yet until I hit Publish Settings. If there's a reset that needs to happen, you can click Reset and go back to what the previous publication looks like. Which brings me to my second point here. So we have our contact information menu. So this is a new thing that we added for our 2.0 release. So if you go to your mobile app and you still see a red box around your contact information, that means that it hasn't been set up yet. So you're going to want to click that. And you're going to go through and you're going to review all of your information saved over here. If you need to make any changes to it, you're going to click where it says account management, and that will take you out of the editor into your, this is the same section as your account management. And then you can add all of your hours and so forth. All right. So yeah, so once you're happy with your contact information, you can check that box there and then click Save and Preview. You do have the option as well to add your own support email if you want to provide a centralized email for them to communicate with you with. All right, so publishing, and that's it. It'll say changes published and everything over here is up and running. So the big part, you have your app completely customized. The other part of this is how to get your customers on it. So there's one thing that your customers will need on their account in order to participate and actually be on the app. That only requirement is an email address associated with their pet owner account. This email address will serve as a username when they log into the app, just like you use your email address as your username when you log into your Astro account. So yeah, so on mine, anybody here that has an email can actually download the app. All right, so there's two things that you can do in order to get your customers on the app. So one of them is you can go under your recipient list and you can create a list. I usually call it, mobile app customers. And all I did to make this one is I created a, download app and agree to push notifications. So this will help you keep track of how many customers that you have that have actually, gotten the app on their phone. So that'll help with, keeping track, and it'll also help with any promotions that you give to those customers specifically. Now, to get them to download it, under templates, you're going to find under featured, I put together this template right here. So I'm calling it Unlosable Loyalty. So in it, you'll have a, kind of an image showing what they're going to be getting, or I should say, like, one of the big selling points of this app for your customers is the fact that unlike, punch cards and things like that, they're not gonna lose it. It'll update in real time. They'll see their progress on their frequent buyer cards. So that's a huge, huge thing. The other part of it is it'll also show them all of the special offers that you currently have active at your store. So you have to be enrolled and they have to be, going on. If you're doing a points program, they can see all their points information. With the marketing suite, you can send them notifications. You can also send them special promotions that only they can use. And they can also access their account information from this. This is pretty big. So they can actually update their pets information. They can opt in or opt out of things like your emailing list, or if you do add SMS texting, they can opt in or out of that as well. So this template right here is ready to go. If you wanted to use it, you're just going to click where it says import into my templates and use it just like you would any other template. And the way that you would send it is under campaigns. You would just go to new template campaign and you would start a new template campaign, and your recipients can be all pet owners. So the cool thing about just Astro marketing in general is it'll only, obviously the people are only able to receive the communication via email if they have an email address. So you can just do all pet owners, deliver via email, and send them that email. That email will include links for them to download the mobile app, and they can get started. So that one is that. The other part, if you wanted to do something that they could interact with in store, is go to your image library and then go to where it says Media Kit. So we recently updated this link. So we made a new page for it. So before it was really convoluted. You had to register and then all this other stuff. So now it's so much simpler. There's a button right here. You click that button. It'll open up a page where you can go ahead and just, save that zip file once you have it in your system. Just like any other zip file, you would just open it up. You would click extract all, choose where you want it to go, and extract everything. So that's that. So once you have that bad boy set up, you're going to have several folders that contain all kinds of images. So I'll just give you a preview of what you're going to get. So here's some of the designs in there. So you could either print these guys yourself if you wanted to, or you can send the files to a professional printer. So for instance, this one right here is one of those like counter mats. So you can get like a really nice, like, either like a vinyl sticker, or you can do something more like a little, kind of like a giant mouse pad, that kind of thing. The other guys are, they can be like foldable table tents. They can be, these are poster sized. So you really do have a lot of flexibility with how you put these signs up in your store. And all of them contain a QR code link. So customer flashes their phone over it. It takes them to a website where it'll explain to them that they do need their email address on file, so there won't be any confusion. And yeah, it'll direct them to either the Google Store or the Apple Store, depending. And then they can get started on your app. So that's that part. And okay, so now let's say all of that. So you have your signs up, you sent out your email address or your campaign to get customers on the app. So now you have a decision to make. You could choose to offer additional incentive to those customers that are on your app, because really it does help you to have your people on it. It does keep them in touch with their cards so they don't lose and miss out on anything. They do see your offers and so forth, and they are connected with you in that way. So there is a good thing for them, and it is a good thing for you to be on it, for them to be on it. So some of our retailers came up with some really ingenious ideas to offer further incentive if those benefits aren't enough. So one of those was to offer My Promotions specifically for app users. So the cool thing about these is you can make them for literally anything that you can possibly think of. They can be dollars off, they can be percent off, they can, advertise events, discounts, all kinds of things. So these are essentially marketing tools, and they can be redeemed just like, any other kind of thing within Astro. But they're mainly designed as promotional tools. So this one right here is currently active. So I have one for 10% off one dog toy. So if I wanted to send this out as a campaign just to my mobile app users, I would click, quick campaign. I would go to, let's see, where do I have it? I think I called it mobile app customers. Yeah, there we go. Mobile app customers. All right. And I just refreshed it today, so I'm good there. And yeah, and then template selection, I'd go forward, and it'll automatically generate a really cool, simple template. And then if you wanted to jazz this guy up a little bit, you would just select where it says edit selected template. You can add additional images to it, and that's it. You would just click where it says save and queue for sending, and it would go out to just your customers who have the app. So they would get on their end, they would get a notification. They would go into their app under the notification section. They would see your communication, and they would see that link. So they could you can have it redeemable one of two ways. They could either, flash the notification that they got on their phone, or they can flash you the promotional code that is sent to them. And then for the cashier's part, we'll save that as a draft. On the cashier's end, all they're doing is they could either, scan the barcode, which is, what is generated by the campaign, or they can type in the numerical code starting with the letter P. So P0001096 would redeem this one. All right, so that is if you wanted to do promotions just for your app users as a special VIP treatment. The other one is, so Stacy actually told me about this campaign that one of her retailers told her about. So the general idea was he did kind of a surprise almost type campaign. So what he did was he asked people like, hey, have you downloaded our app? And then he had them show their home screen on their phone. And he was offering discounts for people. So he's like, if you have my app on page 1, you're going to get, 75% off. If you have my app on page 2, you get such and such % off, and so forth. I mean, obviously you can adjust your percentages accordingly, but I thought that was a really fun little, surprise campaign that he did, for his customers to get them excited about the app. So, all right, so let's see. What else do we have? All right, so the other part of this that I wanted to talk about today was SMS campaigns, so text message campaigns. So there's a couple things to consider on this as to whether or not it makes sense for you and your customers. So let's go first to my specific customer list on here. And, obviously all of these numbers are fake because this is a demo account, but, I can get a general idea just by kind of going through my customer list as to like how many customers do have phone numbers on file. Now, just because they have a phone number on file doesn't mean that I can necessarily send them a text today. It still requires them to opt in to that service. So how do you get a customer to opt in to SMS text messaging? So I'm going to go right here and, oops, sorry, I went to the wrong place. Okay. So on my account, I have my SMS activated. I've already retrieved my number. So I have my number all set up, and under settings, I already have my, all of my configuration done. So I am good to go on my end. Now, for the customers themselves, there's some setup to do for new customers and for existing customers. So the first part would be new pet owner mobile phone numbers. You can choose whether you want it to be a requirement or a recommendation when adding new customers to your system. Or you can choose neither. That's up to you. Now, the one thing that I will check, regardless of what you choose up here, is this box right here. So SMS consent by default. So what this does is when your cashier adds a new customer to your system and they enter a phone number into, so if I'm going here and I'm just going to say add customer, and I put in a phone number there, and we'll just throw in some information there. So if this was me and I just made this as a cashier, on default, unless you have that box checked under your settings, this box right here is not checked. So now, with that box being checked, what happens is when this pet owner is saved, just by clicking that, a text is automatically sent to them, letting them know that they have been verbally opted in to receive text messages from you. Okay? Now, if that box is unchecked, then they're not being opted in. Okay, so it's as if you have saved them, but you can't communicate with them. In order to opt them in later, so if I save this person, all right, so right here is indicative that they have not been opted in. So we have a phone number, it is gold, but it's not green. We want it to be green. So in order to make it green, the cashier would have to select that they would have to get into this section here, then they would have to click this button that says customer consents to SMS. Okay, now this person, so I can click here to close, and now this person is green. So the reason for this, excuse me, I'm so sorry. The reason for this is privacy law. So this whole process was indicating that I got a verbal opt-in from this customer. Without that verbal opt-in or, an actual recordable opt-in, then you just texting them would violate privacy laws. So we're big on that with Astro. We, respect everybody's privacy and we want to help you do the same so you don't get in trouble. So anyway, so that's how somebody would be opted in during the checkout process. So why would you do this? So we have some customers or some retailers that decided to use SMS text as, an additional part of their campaigning. So when they're putting together a regular template campaign, they want to go start, they want to be able to select, multiple methods of delivery because they have customers who prefer different methods of delivery. So you have, customers that respond better to email or, would prefer to be getting an app notification or would actually prefer getting text. Now, me personally, I see every text that comes to me, whether it's, for a free froyo or, my best friend texting me. So I do respond well to text messages, and I also respond well to app notification. My personal email is atrocious. So that's just me personally. So you could use text campaigning as an additional part of your everyday campaigning with your customers, giving them a choice to choose this method as their preferred method to receive communications from you. Now, on the flip side of that, or I should say on the next page of that, we have retailers that decided to only use SMS text in some type of emergency situation. So for instance, at my store, when we would have things happen like food recalls, which unfortunately does happen, even when you carry the highest quality food out there, the companies that are responsible, if there's ever anything that happens that's funky, they're going to authorize a recall. And so, with Astro, there are, especially using our recipient list, let's say, brand X has a recall, you can create a recipient list, based on that brand. So, if Astro AAA or whatever did a recall, you could put together every single customer that has ever purchased their products before at any point and create a list that way and just inform your customers that there has been a recall. So there are some retailers that will let their customers know, hey, you can opt into SMS, but I will only use SMS in instances of emergency if there's a recall, or some will actually let their customers know, I will use SMS in instances where I'm reminding people of an adoption event that's this weekend. So little snippets of information that you're just kind of, dropping to them. So the best way to actually communicate those little baby snippets is by a simple campaign. So this SMS text only campaign, which looks like this. So this is literally something that you're just typing a actual text message and, choosing a recipient list, from your drop down, and then you're saving and you're sending. So that's just a way of really quickly sending out information. So those are the two options there. And I guess for cost-wise, so that's also something to consider here. So with your marketing suite, you automatically get access to email, app notification campaigns, and Facebook campaigning, as well as, Astro Social. SMS text is not included in that because it does require credits in order to send. So when you're actually putting together this guy right here, it will, I think I have mine set up a little bit different. But anyway, when you're sending up a simple campaign via text, it'll let you know how many credits that you have left. And what that means is, so if I'm sending out one campaign to 5 customers, that counts as 5 text messages being sent. So I need 5 credits in order to send that campaign. And then each credit costs, right now it's about just under 3 cents per single text. So then that campaign would be 5 times 3 cents. That would be the cost of it. So under the settings, yours would look a little bit different because I have mine set up where it's a demo account, so I don't actually have, I can't send actual text campaigns because I don't, anyway, okay. who cares? But anyway, so yours will have an actual listing here that will allow you to choose your refresh. So like if you have 500 credits and you want to purchase 500 more credits when your total credits dips below 100, you can program that in under your text configuration. So Astro does not charge you for this number. So Astro actually covers the cost of you leasing this number. So we take care of that. So all you would have to worry about with sending SMS campaigns is the actual, covering the cost of the credits themselves, which cover the cost of the carrier fees to send. So anything credit related doesn't go to Astro, it goes to the carrier. And of course, if we do switch carriers, if we find a better deal where we can get credits at a cheaper rate than 3 cents, then we would do that. And the credit pricing within Astro would adjust accordingly. All right, so let's see. I'm going to stop my share momentarily. Perfect. Okay, so see if any questions or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, so this is okay, so again, I'm doing this webinar for the first time with this system, so I can't really see the chat and do the screen share at the same time. So if you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask them into our chat right now or put them up into the question section, and I'll be sure to address them. And while we're kind of thinking about that, there is one thing that I do want to share with you. So I've been kind of hinting at this in the last couple of webinars that we've had. So you guys may already be familiar with the My Astro Webpage, which is located under your Actions menu. And the My Astro Webpage is a page that is included with all Astro accounts, regardless of whether or not you have the Marketing Suite enabled. So the My Astro webpage is fantastic because it shows all of your frequent flyer programs, it shows all of your offers that are currently active, and it has all of your Sharing the Love programs. It also has your mobile app links that customers can use to download your app and get on board that way. Now we are giving it a makeover, so there is going to be a revamp done with the design of the page itself. We're going to make it a lot more engaging. And we're adding interactive elements as well. So you're going to see a way for customers to be able to log in to this My Astro webpage, just like they would log in to the mobile app. So this is for customers that don't want to put an app on their phone, but they still want all of the benefits of having an app on their phone. So they would be able to access things like notifications, just like they would on the app. It would have all of that functionality, and it would be accessible on their browser. So once we have that launched, and we're thinking it may happen, because next month is super, so it's going to be crazy. So we're thinking probably hopefully next month, we will have that up. Definitely before the end of the month, we'll have that available. And yeah, and we'll most likely do a webinar about it as well. So yeah, please direct any questions that you have after this. You can send them into support@astroloyalty.com. I think you all are already familiar with that. And if you need to speak to me directly, you can definitely do that there. And then let me put in my direct, and I do have a way for you to actually schedule a meeting with me directly if that is something that interests you. So we would do like a one-on-one. Okay, so that is that link right there. So that's a one-on-one, and the support is a general support. I need help, and we'll be happy to help you. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it today. I hope you were able to follow along. New platform and everything, new webinar fun times. Awesome. Oh, Brad, yay. Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. And so when we have our series set up for August, I will send it out to everybody, and you're welcome to attend. We'll probably have registration done in such a way where you can register for individual webinars rather than the whole chunk. And yeah, we'll go from there. More fun things soon. And I look forward to seeing you guys. If you are attending Super Zoo, be safe. I will be there as of right now. And yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.